Hi everybody, I'm Alex and today we're going to talk a little bit more about the Xiaomi 14T Pro, the pros, the cons and what is my personal experience with the device. The Xiaomi 14T Pro comes with 209 grams of weight and a very nice IP rating. It is actually a glass sandwich because it features a glass front, it also features glass back and the frame is made out of aluminum alloy, and I can say that the overall build quality of the phone goes a little bit more towards the flagship grade rather than the mid-class range. So in this case the build quality is flawless and I can say that I like it. One of the things that I really don't like about the phone is actually that we don't have any interesting colors. Here we have blue, we have green, we have gray, and this is it. This is everything that you get with these colors. This glass back attracts many fingerprints and you have to clean it often if you are not using the case that is provided in the package. Classically in the bottom you have a USB Type-C port, the SIM tray and one of the two stereo speakers. At the top of the phone you have an IR blaster to control your multimedia, your TV, your AC, whatever you're using, and at the side we have the volume rockers and the power button. The power button has a very nice texture on it and you can easily find it with your thumb, and I can say that the positioning of the button is very nice, it is very convenient to be there, and even with my medium-sized hand I have no issues of operating with the phone. The one issue that I have though is with touching the diagonals of the phone. It is absolutely impossible for me. The highest my thumb can go is the middle of the screen, and this is mainly because of the fact that we have a 6.67-inch screen, which in this case is AMOLED. We have a very nice resolution, we have incredible color reproduction from this AMOLED screen and a refresh rate of 144 Hz. No matter the fact that the maximum brightness in manual mode is 1600 nits, you will be able to see the screen even in bright sunlight, so don't hustle and bustle about this thing. I think that the screen is greatly made. No matter if you're going to watch some content on YouTube or on TikTok or on any other social media or streaming platforms like Netflix or Amazon Prime, the image that you're going to see is going to be very nice, mainly because of the pixel per inch that is high mount here and mainly because of the nice color reproduction. In my opinion, Xiaomi did a great thing with implementing this exact screen into the 14T Pro, and I can give it a thumbs up with no issues at all. This is one of the most gorgeous screens that you can see in the mid-class phones. And here we come to one of the drawbacks of the phone, and in this case is the speakers. The stereo speakers here are okay-ish. They're not something phenomenal, they're not something spectacular, they're not something to brag about with, and in my experience they just sound hollow. They are very loud, I can even hear some distortion in the louder levels, they lack fullness, they lack richness in the sound, they lack bass, so this is one of the things that I'm going to give a thumbs down to. The stereo speakers are here, they're present, they're loud, but they're not something that I expected to see in this price range of a phone. The camera system here is co-engineered with Leica and it is the main highlight in the phone, in my opinion. We have a triple camera system at the back and we have a single selfie camera. The main camera is a 50 megapixel sensor with 1.6 aperture and OIS. The main thing here is that it also features Leica Sumilux optics in it, so in this case you will be having much less chromatic aberration and you'll be having much less distortion and flares into the camera. When it comes to the other cameras, the 14T Pro features a 50 megapixel telephoto sensor and a 12 megapixel ultra-wide sensor. I have to say that I'm not very happy to see a 12 megapixel ultra-wide sensor in this phone. I expected it to be a little bit more, maybe like a 48 megapixel, but in this case we are going a little bit in the higher price range. We are going towards a flagman if we are expecting to have every single camera to be 48 or 50 megapixel. The selfie camera though is 32 megapixels and I have to say that I'm pretty happy with the results that I get. As I already told you, the main highlight is the main camera that produces very nice images. No matter if you're in the light, you're in the dark. We tested this camera in the dark, we tested it with Xiaomi on a special trip to Thessaloniki and we were able to make some very nice photos when it comes to night photography. I have to say that I'm very happy with the results and with the consistency that we get when shooting in the nighttime or when shooting in the daylight, and every single image looks almost exactly same like the previous image that you took, and the color reproduction is also good. Here you also have two baked-in color profiles into the camera system, like a Vivid and like Authentic. If you're going to choose like a Vivid, you'll be having a little bit more saturated, more vivid photos. If you're choosing the Authentic, you'll be having more pleasing, more real to eye look of the photos. And now I'm going to leave you some photo samples to take a look for yourself and to analyze them to see if you like them or if you don't like them. I can say that the main sensor is great, but the other two sensors need a little bit more work to be done, because even with the 50 megapixel telephoto sensor we see some lack of detail compared to the main sensor. The great thing is that all of the cameras can shoot up to 4K 30 FPS, and this is something that was taboo for Xiaomi for quite a long time, because in the selfie camera area we saw that not many of the phones were able to go above 1080p, and now I'm going to leave you some video samples to check out the camera quality. And this is a video sample from the main camera of the Xiaomi 14T Pro. From what I have seen, seen, we have some issues here with the autofocus system. We are shooting 4K 30 FPS because this is the maximum that we can go with this phone, and from what I have seen, the image is quite good. I also like the fact that we have optical image stabilization, so the video will be a little bit more stabilized than from the other cameras that I'm going to switch right now, but this is the image that you can get from the main camera. In my opinion, it's okay for this price range, for this class of phone. Now we're switching to the ultra-wide. The ultra-wide camera is also on the okay-ish side. It can shoot up to 4K 30 FPS, the field of view is very wide, and the detail is present, so I don't think that there is any issue with the ultra-wide camera. So this is a video sample from the selfie camera of the Xiaomi 14T Pro. I'm used to a little bit more like wider shots, but here we have a very much zoomed in camera. Also, the dynamic range is not one of the best that you can see. From what I am seeing right now, the highlights are all blown up, the darks are, let's say, there's some information in there, but the chromatic aberration here is insane. One of the things that I really like though is the stabilization. In this case here we have electronic image stabilization and it's okay. The hardware is one of the most spectacular things in the Xiaomi 14T Pro. Here we have the MediaTek Dimensity 9300 Plus, 12 GB of LPDDR5X memory and 512 GB of UFS 4.0 storage. Here you have incredibly fast processor, incredibly fast RAM and incredibly fast storage, so every single thing is present for you to be gaming on this phone with no issues at all. The MediaTek Dimensity manages to keep the temperatures at the right level without your hands burning when you're using the phone without its cover, when you're gaming or some heavy tasking, and the performance is spectacular for such a processor. No matter if you're playing Call of Duty or Genshin Impact, you're going to have a cap of the frames if you have set everything to maximum, so this is something that you won't be having to worry about. The frame rate will be constant, the frame rate will be at the maximum that you set it, and no issues were experienced while I was gaming with the phone in both of the games. Even in Diablo Immortal I had no issues. There was one problem, but it was software wise, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it, but later in the video. For day-to-day usage, the MediaTek Dimensity is a killer processor. It is in my opinion even overkill for this phone, and for gaming it is just the right amount of power that you're going to need. So the performance of the 14T Pro is perfect, and I think that most of the people are going to enjoy how smooth it works. Software wise, the phone comes with Android 15 and HyperOS 2. I have to say that the shell looks very nice, the shell looks clean, the shell looks very intuitive. You have a great amount of options to experiment with it, to customize it to your personal liking, to customize all the icons, the always on screens, the wallpapers, the themes, and whatever you can think of, you can customize it. Everything is on a once wide reach, so no settings that are very hidden, no settings that are somewhere in the phone and you have to dig to find them. Everything is straightforward. And the other thing that is very straightforward is that you have preloaded games and applications in the phone. So yeah, you have bloatware and you'll be needing something like 2 to 3 minutes to uninstall everything that is installed with the phone coming out of the box. It is annoying, but I suppose that Xiaomi did it because of the sponsors, these applications particularly, that are making them able to lower the price a little bit, to be making it a little bit more affordable on the market. Everything else about the shell looks very nice, it works very well, but I found bugs, and one of the bugs that I found is actually a pretty basic one. It is a pop-up window that I had to fill my credential to log into certain application. It took me like 40-ish minutes to be able to log into Diablo Immortal, and this is something that was very annoying because this bubble window with the credentials that I had to put in was not directly corresponding with the Diablo Immortal game, and it took quite a while for it to log in. So this is one of the things, a very basic level task was actually buggy, so this is something that in my opinion is not okay. Another interesting bug is that the phone prompted me a notification that the battery level is below 20%. I unlocked the phone and the battery level was 25%, so this is something that is not expected with the phone in this price range, and not expected in the phone at all, because it is a pretty straightforward task for it to execute, pretty straight notification to give to me, and function wise there are some bugs that are going to affect your work in some way. The battery here is 5000 milliamps. It can give you somewhere around one day and few hours, and this will mainly depend on the usage of the phone, because if you're only using it for gaming with maximum brightness and with maximum refresh rate, the battery will be drained a little bit faster. And if you're going for day-to-day task, I think that you're going to last a little bit more, maybe like a day and a half. And when it comes to charging, you can rely on 120 watts wire charging or 50 watts wireless wireless charging. The bad thing here though is that for the European region we don't receive a charger in the box. I know that this is in the directive of the European Union because of the electronic waste that we all make, but in this case, if you are bragging with the charging speeds that you have, it's better to put the charger in the box, not only the cable. Overall, my conclusion about the Xiaomi 14T Pro is that it's a great piece of tech. It's one of the best phones that you can go for in the mid-class, and everything here looks very nice and very high quality made, from the screen to the camera system to the build quality itself to the materials that are used. It feels like a very premium phone. It almost feels like a flagship phone. For day-to-day tasks and daily usage, the only issues that I have were with some logins in a few of the applications, for example with Diablo Immortal, and from some notifications that were not that accurate. Everything else was working perfectly, and everything else was working perfectly mainly because of the powerful processor that we have here. The processor also features a new NPU unit for some of the AI tasks that you can prompt the phone, because now it has some AI features like editing some photos into their own gallery, the Xiaomi gallery. You can remove some objects from the photos. You can also prompt the AI to make a video from certain images that you have given it, and there you should write a little bit more if you want to explain to the AI what you want it to make. You can use Google Gemini. You can also use Circle to search, which is very useful in my opinion, in my case. And one of the greatest things is that you have live translation. This is something that will become very handy for people that are traveling a lot. So feature-wise, the phone is on a great level, and to be absolutely honest with you, I like it and I can recommend it, even with the bugs that it has in the software. I highly hope that Xiaomi are going to fix these things in future updates. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you like it. I hope you find it useful. If it is like so, smash the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, don't forget to ring the bell icon for upcoming videos, and I'll see you in the next review. Bye!